All right, welcome everybody. My name is Sally Morgan. I work from SIDES, South Island Distance Education School, and I'm also a district teacher leader in Saanich School. I'm really delighted today to be here to show you some of the resources that we have for SIDES Primary. And I'm joined by our K1 teacher, Stephanie Ogden, who is going to be telling you a little bit more about them in more detail. Before we get started, I would just like to acknowledge that I am coming to you from the traditional territory of the Saanich people, and I'm very grateful that we get to work in this beautiful area and live and play here too. So let's get started. What I'd like to do is just to get started by saying to you that in these times, what's most important for us is that that we can work together, support each other, do whatever it takes to make things work in this difficult and uncertain time. So what we'll show you today, please feel free to take what is helpful to you, make it your own, share it beyond. If there's anything that we can help with, we would be just so delighted. So we have a few learning intentions for today. By the end of the session, you'll know a little bit more about our primary program. We're not going to spend a lot of time explaining it to you. We just want you to understand our context for when we share some of the things that we're sharing with you. And then more importantly, how to navigate through a course, which courses might be most helpful, or sorry, which resources might be most helpful. And then we'll just quickly show you at the end how to copy or print something, and also how to get access to a SIDES resource, one of the courses. So if you're not familiar with how to do that, we can show you. Okay, so Stephanie, you can pop in anytime, but I thought I would just get started by doing a very quick overview here about the primary program, just so that teachers understand how we're working. So when you look at our courses, they are at the moment multi-level. We have a K1 course and a 2-3 course, and those switch back and forth every year. Stephanie at the moment is working on taking the K1 and developing a separate kindergarten course and a grade 1 course, but it's not ready yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I'll just jump in here right now. So as it stands right now, the course that you would be accessing is a K1 course. And Sally, I'm not sure if we're putting up year A and B or just year B.
Just year B. Just
year B. Okay, so year B, the focus on the social studies and science is more of a kindergarten focus. So because we have the students for 2 years in a row, we're able to go through the curriculum. So when they do their inquiry projects or anything like that, this year it's more focused towards kindergarten. And next year it will be grade 1, which will be the year A. So, well, actually next year it's going to be split up. So we will have a definite kindergarten class and a grade 1 class. So
perfect. Thank you. So when we do the, when we develop a course like this, and just a little bit of background about the development, my role at SIDES is to oversee course development. And so even though I started out as a secondary English teacher, I've been working across the curriculum with teachers as they've developed these programs. Of course, you can't put very young students onto computers. So these programs, the primary in particular, is developed to be delivered by a home facilitator. So we understand that will be a problem in some cases for you because, of course, you have home facilitators right now who are completely overloaded just with all of the other parts of their lives. So it's an important part of the program for us, and it's just important to keep in mind as we go through this so that you understand what our context is. Also, we organize it month by month so that it's not a daily program that they get or even a weekly program. There's a month at a time, and parents and students work through it together. Also, it's not all online. Many of our secondary courses are completely resourced within the program, so they don't have to have additional texts and things. But for our primary courses, we send out our programs, we send out resource packages that include things, obviously, books and math manipulatives, those kinds of things.
And I'll just stop you there. Oh, sorry, Sally. I'm just
going to
stop right in there. Our kindergarten program is all online. So the students do get those supplies at home. But I mean, you can have found items that they can use, most definitely. The kindergarten program right now is actually paper-based. So you won't be able to use the grade 1 program, but the kindergarten program is online completely. And I was going to say that a lot of our books that we send home with the students, you can find them online. You can have, there are many online books that you probably know this already that people are reading. And so you can just direct parents to those books and they'll see them.
Super, thank you. Two other things. They are, although it's an online program, Stephanie spends a great deal of her time in online classes with her students, face-to-face programs with those children, where they bring a bigger group together, and also a lot of regular parent contact. So there's a lot of other sort of supports that go in. And the last thing I just wanted to share with you, I think this is a really important piece, is that when we develop these, we develop them on an incredibly tight timeline. They are still being worked on. They're being added to, revised, rewritten in places. We had a very, very small amount of time, very few resources. And so what you're seeing is a class in progress, in the same way that if I came into your classroom, there would be parts of it that you would say, I'm really proud of this part, and this part we're still working on. So it's a little bit the same way here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is to switch over and look at some of the particular resources within the program which would be helpful. And these are a few things that I think people might be interested in. And I'm going to switch out of this particular program and find my way to the homepage here. So do you guys all see my homepage now for BC Kindergarten Grade 1? Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Okay. So now this, what I'm showing you here is a resource which we have basically copied from the courses that Stephanie is offering, and made it available to teachers across BC. Anybody who would like to use it can do so. It's our course. It's developed for our students in our context. It's not a resort. It's not a set of resources that you'll be able to just grab. But I think there are some things that might be really helpful for you in here. So I hope that there is something that you can take. And at the end, we'll show you how to sign up for one of these and get it to you so that you can take a look at it if it's interesting to you. So
maybe I'll just, Sally,
yeah,
did you want to go on?
What were you going to say, Stephanie?
This isn't a live page, then it's just a screenshot that you're showing everybody?
No, this is a live page.
It's a live page, yeah. Okay. So my parents, when they go in, it's not students who would be accessing this. This is parents who would access this. Right. And the first place that they would go would be the content page. And again, we have it done month by month, but at the beginning of the year in September, we direct our parents to the Getting Started section, and this has so many wonderful little resources. And I would really encourage anybody to go through these and cut and paste and send some of that information off to your parents, because you are going to have some parents who are not going to be able to engage with any content that you send them because they don't have the time. But then you're going to have others that are going to be so excited about schooling at home for a while that they may want all this information. And it's information that we as teachers just intuitively have, and we just kind of have it in our toolbox and we're ready to go when we're meeting with students. But parents may not have this knowledge. And so with the Getting Started, I went through and I just kind of highlighted what I thought would be interesting for yourself. So I would read through everything. There are sections that have places that you have to click on, and you may skip right past them and go, oh, I didn't know I had to click on everything. Just kind of click around and go, oh, there's information. So when in the Getting Started,
I thought we could just show them a page here and just.
So this is the importance of calendar. And so if you go down and Getting Started with Daily Calendar Time, just go on that. Oh, it's the next section actually. Additional ideas for calendar. So if you go into that one there and you scroll down, the counting, all of those, if you click on those, they give ideas for parents as your child counts, ask them to, you know, all the different things. So you could cut and paste those ideas for the parents. Just a little bit, you could say, you know, this week you want them to just concentrate on one part.
To me.
So,
and listen to it for.
And I'm just looking here to. There's some wonderful resources if you go into the writing section of the Getting Started. They have it lays out for the parents the developmental stages of writing, because you know what, as they're doing journal writing with their children, they may not exactly know what they're looking at. So. And these you don't need to show them, but it's just, they're all here for you to use if you want to send something to a parent who's really interested in knowing, you know, where's my child at. In the reading section, we've listed the 6 elements of reading, but also effective reading habits. So that's under reading. Where is the reading? Oop, right there. Sorry. And effective reading habits, go to that one there. Let's see here, effective reading habits. And so it just, it shows the parents, you know, when we're reading with the students, what are we doing? We're making connections, making predictions. These are things that some parents do intuitively and others maybe need to have it spelled out a little bit for them.
And what I love, Stephanie, about what you said is that these are resources that you could share with a parent who wants to know more and to be able to do more. We're not suggesting at all that you should send this home to everybody, but certainly it might be helpful for some teachers. Or for some families. Were there any other parts in the Getting Started that you wanted to highlight?
There's reading to self and reading with others, and it just goes into, if you go into reading with others, please, if that's okay. And down there in the section, the reading strategies. This is one that we all use in our class, but it's laid out for the parents. So as they're reading with their child, they can use all of these strategies. You know, I'm sure maybe some of you sent home bookmarks with the students at the beginning of the year. I'm not sure, but it's there if you want to, you know, copy and paste and send it off. I'm sure everybody's got a copy at home too. Yeah. But it's there and it's easy to access.
Seeing anything.
Let's see here, the daily word work. If you go down there, there's the phonics activities. So daily word work. And you go to the phonics activities. So it just talks about things that the parents may want to do.
Looks
to
good.
practice. So they're little games and things like that. And under the printing skills, sorry about that. I know.
No, that's okay. Well, maybe we'll sort of finish with that one and move
Yeah,
on.
and that's actually the last one that I wanted to highlight,
Yeah.
actually. So under the printing skills, they had small motor skills and just some things that parents can do. So instead of typing everything out in a letter to the parents and saying, these are some things you can do at home, it's kind of already laid out for them. Copy, paste,
Picture that.
and send it off.
I can't
So
stop it.
And I'm going to show you a section from the grade 2 and 3 course after this. And it has this same getting started section in it. Some of things have been sort of modified for the grade 2 and 3 level, but some of it we've put in there exactly the same. So, you know, the reading levels, for example, because there are grade 2s who are still at a really emergent level.
yeah,
So,
and what's wonderful,
some of those same supports you'll find in the grade 2 and 3 one as well.
and what's wonderful with Crystal's program is that she's taken the grade 2-3 course, and I just started this year with mine actually. She's added all of the Adrian Greer stuff in for reading and writing. So if any of you out there are using Adrian Greer, she's actually got the reading writing powers within her program.
Yeah,
So
we'll have a little look at that.
sorry.
No, that's fine. That's totally fine. I thought we could show people some kindergarten math. Was there a particular?
Do you know what? You can go to any month of the kindergarten math. That's okay. Fine. Actually, let's go to April, because we're there anyways, and might as well see it. And I know everybody teaches their math in a different way. You know, different units at different times for a lot of them. This is our unit this month for math. And so it's done by weeks. So it lets the parents know what they're going to be covering, what kind of materials they need. And then it goes week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And it lays out the lesson. And because kindergarten is so experiential, I mean, well, so is grade 1, but there's a lot of ways to play with what they have. And there's no worksheets. The students don't do any worksheets for kindergarten, obviously. And so they do have little math notebooks. And for evaluations, parents are actually encouraged to do a video showing their child exploring, or take a picture and write about what they did, or even use a math notebook where the child just draws pictures. And in the end of each math unit, if you go under, maybe it's in week 4 that we put it, I can't remember, we just put it in actually. No, it'll be in submissions. They actually have a checklist, and that checklist is wonderful when it comes time for writing report cards. So if we go to the submissions and we go down to April routines and unit checklist, the kindergarten right there, that there is wonderful, because when you go to write the report card, you're not going to, because you have no access to your students, it's the home facilitator that's doing everything. You're not going to know, did they need assistance with this, or were they just, you know, able to do it easily? So they put that in there. And what happens is when it comes time to writing report cards, there are certain things that I can report on because I have seen them. Maybe I've seen the video, I've noticed things. Some things that I get, I don't know how much help the student has had. So when I write that report card and it comes to, let's say, their journal writing or anything, there are different forms that the parent fills out, and I will say on the report card, the home facilitator reports that, and then the student's name. So the home facilitator reports that Sally can, with assistance, identify single attributes of 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional objects. So because we're not going to have that contact with the child. So we can't say definitively that they are able to do something independently. And that's where we rely on the parents at this point. So if you want to use those checklists, they're available to you to send to parents.
Thank you, Stephanie. And I should actually acknowledge the people who have developed this program as well. Stephanie's taken over in the last couple of years. And as you can see, these kinds of things are the changes that she is making. This course was, or this program was originally developed by Sandra Peebles, who, bless her heart, took this on about a year before she was planning to retire. That's when we got the message, oh, we're going to be launching this. And we originally thought there were going to be supporting materials for distributed learning for primary, and that turned out not to be the case. So Sandra Peebles and Jill Wilson took this whole project on. Morgan Shane, who some of you might have worked with, came in and did some help in the second year, because we developed one K1 and one 2-3, and then had to, as we were teaching and still developing the first one, develop a second one for the following year. Anyway, they've done a fantastic job. And now what you're seeing is the work that's being done by the teachers who are in those courses now. And so thank you, Stephanie, for the work that you're doing. I actually love this checklist.
Was Audrey and I.
Was it Audrey? And
Audrey
Hayes as well. Thank you. Yeah.
It was our brilliant brainchild.
Perfect. Was there anything else you wanted to highlight in this course, or could I move on?
I've just got a little list here that I made. There are other, because at the end of the year, we have to do our little core competencies, evaluations. Our students, we have to attach them to our report cards. Well, we have them in there. And so I think it was in May, and it may be under submissions. Now I can't remember where I found it. I'll just hold it up. It's just, everybody knows what they are. They're on our district website too, but they are within there somewhere. Let's see, May. Go up, scroll up again. Submissions maybe. Let's see. May routines.
Facilitator.
Well, there's a home facilitator report. That's another one you can look at. This is awesome. Sally, if you can just click on that home facilitators report. That's another one. We do that for each term. It's 2 pages, and the parent rates social responsibility and all that. I'm assuming that at this point in time, we're not going to be reporting on all of that, but it's there if needed.
Perfect.
But yeah, just so that you know that there is a self-assessment for the core competencies, somewhere in May, somewhere in June. I can't remember what this morning. So I'm just going to see if there's anything else. That's basically it.
Beautiful. So I'm going to find.
I'm sorry, I've got one more thing.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, just for the inquiry projects, they are in there. If you could just show where they are. And they're split up into sections, just like we would do in the classroom. So the parents, you can go to like April, sure. And so we've got it split up. So an introduction to it, the connect and wonder, investigate and construct, and word walls that you can put up. So look through them. They're all set up. So if you want them to do some sort of project, you can. So yeah. It's all there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's important that we mention that, and you would be the better person to do that. Okay, so I'm going to very quickly show you a couple of additional things in the grade 2 and 3 course, they were set up, the 2 courses were set up in exactly the same way, and the same structure and everything. So you'll find that there are parts of the course that look very, very similar. But what I'd like to show you is the work that Crystal Kerr has been doing with the reading and the writing within the within her course. Now, I'm not sure if she would have started it in September. September tends to be a sort of a getting started month at Sides because families kind of come in throughout the month. So the real work tends to start in October. Okay, so
Actually, so it did start in September, and she's got a wonderful setup for it in September if you go to it.
you bet.
Sorry.
No, that's good. I am.
So if you go to the reading in September, and there you go. So everybody knows the Reading Powers model, the little guy, and so she has an initial activity that they can do, and she goes through it all.
And we've used this throughout, but is it the reading or the writing that she has a book that she sends out? Do you know, Stephanie?
Well,
for one of them.
she does have programs that she uses. There is a writing program that she uses.
Yeah, I think it's the writing program.
Yeah, go under writing though, because I believe this year she was adding the writing
she's been
power
working,
in there.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely working on that.
So there you go. All the same thing that I have.
Yeah.
Maybe go to October for that.
Yeah.
She does have a book.
I think it's for the writing.
Yeah.
So for the reading, I'll just find you in October. So for
there's the guy again.
Yeah. So for the reading, Crystal's been incorporating things into the course from Adrian Gear, and I just want to sort of give you a caution about this. Generally, we wouldn't copy things into our courses of this nature, but what we've done is we have a class set of the Adrian Gear materials, and then we also have some of the pieces on our within our program, which is usually password protected and only students who are enrolled can get into. So I just want to sort of be really clear that about that part of it. If you're using Adrian Gear already in your classroom, if you've already got the materials in your classroom, then I would say go right ahead and use them in this emergency situation for sure. So this part then, we've got the reading, and she has done a really lovely job of developing a really wide variety of reading skills using this model. So there again, it's what, as Stephanie said before, there might be something that you can share with your class or share with a particular family who is looking to deepen the learning at home during this period of time. So I don't think that there's anything else particularly that I want to focus on, because I think as we said, the whole thing is set up in the same way in both of the courses or the programs. So you'll have the Start Here section, which is that section that Stephanie took you through before, which has all of the introductory pieces to it. And those are what, when we were developing this, we wanted to give home facilitators a little bit of insight into what they should be looking for, so that they would know when they were encouraging their child to start writing, when they're working with an emergent writer, that they wouldn't be stopping them to correct their spelling or stopping them to fix their writing form, those kinds of things. We wanted them to just understand some of those things that as primary teachers are just in your blood, really. So that's what you'll find in the daily routine. And then once you get into each month, what you'll see is a series of, the reading and writing, the math. Mostly, as Stephanie said at the beginning, our math is still a separate paper-based program, which we'd really like to make better than it is. And then there is the inquiry, and somewhere, in the October routines, these are like specific routines for that month. So there's specific things that might connect, and sometimes you'll find little poems in there, activities, particularly for things like art and PHE. You'll find some things that are really connected to that month, so they can be a helpful place to go. And then you've got inquiries every month if that's something that would be helpful. So the last two things, we just wanted to show you how you could go about printing something if you found something that you wanted to use, and also how to get access to the courses. Stephanie, do you want to explain how you print something, or?
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry. I had muted myself, which is really good for me to do. If you look right there, Sally, at October routines, there's a little arrow.
This guy?
Nope, that's the listen arrow. Right beside October routines, there's a little.
Oh, this one.
Yep, press down on that. And you can say download. And if you download that, you can just print everything off for that particular section. The other thing, if you're just wanting to print off part of a section, I've printed everything off because I love having a hard copy, and I can highlight and decide what I want to take out. But you could literally just copy and paste. Yeah, that's probably the simplest thing to do.
Yeah. I'm not sure, actually, Stephanie, if everybody will have access to that download, because it looks like those are editing privileges.
Yeah.
The way that I show people is on this little guy here. It's the listen thing underneath October routines, and if you click on the down arrow there, and what it will give you is this little square with the arrow in it. And then if you scroll down, what that does is it basically gives you all of the material without all of the formatting. So then it's super easy to just print it off or to copy and paste it into something else.
Yeah, and that's what the download does too. So yeah. I noticed the downloads section there had a delete button, so that's not good.
Yeah, no, I think I think those are editing options that probably aren't available on this one. So that's how you would actually copy something that you wanted to take, and that's an easy way, especially when there are pieces that are embedded and behind buttons. Just go to that little listen app, to the little down arrow, and then over to here. That's how you're going to do that. And the last thing that we wanted to just tell you about is how you would go about getting one of these courses. If you go to the learn.saanich.schools.ca site, which is where you went to get the Zoom address for today, there's a place that says what courses are available. And if you go to sides, at the bottom of the sides section, there's a little place for you to send off an email and request your course. And you can request the kindergarten course, the kindergarten grade 1 course, or the grade 2-3 course, or you could request both of those. And the one that you want is the resource course, which is this course, which is where you'd be able to find anything that was valuable to you. So, Stephanie, is there anything else you'd like to ask before we open this up to questions?
No, not that I can think of at this point.
Okay, so I think what I'm going to do at this point is to end the recording, because people are always more comfortable asking questions when the recording is ended. And then we will continue for anybody who would like to ask questions. So Stephanie, I'd like to thank you particularly for being here today and offering your perspective and your expertise in this area. So thank you so much for being here today. And thank you to everybody who has joined us today. So I'll just stop the recording.